Hi, Monica. So, before we dive in, so I just want to share, something with everyone who is watching. Last month alone, your business generated approximately like 17,000 in revenue, right? Am I correct? Approx.
Yes, correct.
And
Mm-hmm.
with our
Mm-hmm.
ad spend being around 1,300, right? And that's like approx 13x
Yes.
return, I would say. And this month we
Yes.
are looking already about like crossing 20K. Do you think we will, because it's already a week left, and how things are going? You think we will
Yes,
cross?
I for sure feel like we are gonna go over the 20K.
Great. And for this month, so far we have spent it around, let me check, around 1,100 to 1,200 or something, and we will close this month around 1,500 in ad spend, 14 or 1,500 total in ad spend. So
Yes.
what makes this even more powerful is like where this journey started 6 months ago. So can you just react to
Mhm.
those numbers for a second before we dive in? How does that feel, like being in that stage?
From the beginning till now,
Yeah,
it
like
is
just
amazing. I
yeah.
honestly, yeah, I
Great.
didn't think, I was gonna get this far in such a short period of a time. It's been what, a little over 6 months,
Yeah, approx
and
6 months.
my business is like, I feel like it's better and way more, like up there than before. The amount of clients that I'm getting in a month, it's not what I expected. So I'm really, really happy.
Great. So, would you like to introduce yourself, like who you are, how long have you been in the credit repair space, and
Mhm.
like where are you currently based?
Yes. So my name is Monica, also known as Monica Fixes Credit on social media. So I've been in the credit industry for about 6 years now. Um, And so, I'm very familiar with how the credit repair industry works. Um, so I'm very happy with, the decision that I made, hiring you guys onto my team and, making my business even better.
Great. And so, like before working with us, you have worked with another agency that was actually already established in this space. So, without naming them, how was that experience? So just,
That was not a good experience. When I first started with you, I told you, I'm like, I need help. I did work
yeah,
with the other company before you all, and it was the worst. My ads were not hitting anywhere. I was getting a bunch of spams. It was so bad. A lot of money went to waste.
yeah,
So that's why now, like, I wasn't expecting for everything to go as good as it's going because
yeah.
of the past history that I had with another company. So yeah, it was not good at all. I was getting a bunch of spam messages. My leads were not coming in. It was just a bunch of fake numbers. It was completely different to what we have going on right now with your
Yeah.
company.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember,
Mhm.
our first call when you mentioned all that, you did mention that you closed like just few, like around three or some clients in 6 months, and you were
I
not
believe
happy
I
with that.
closed like a handful or less than a
Yeah.
handful
Yeah.
and that's because I was already with that company for months. So it was not good at all.
Yeah. And approximately like how long you work with them? Like how many months?
I would say it was about 5 months that I was
Okay.
with them. And, every month I was just like, okay, let me just continue, give it another try. Maybe it'll be better this month. They say that they would update stuff so that things should be better the following month. And it was, like I said, I believe I only got a handful or less um, of clients, of leads through that company
Yeah.
in the 5 months that I was with them.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And how much money like you estimatedly lost at that time? Like total? Like
Yeah, I for sure had to have lost like about 6,000 or a little, yeah, a little over. Yeah, it was insane.
yeah. Yeah, because because I think a lot of people who watching this right now have had this, similar experience. They've been burned before, and now they believe that their business
Yeah.
will never grow beyond a certain point, or investing in growth will always end in loss. But you're a real example of someone
Yes.
who really turned that around. You know, so
Yeah.
that's really amazing. Yeah. And one
Mm-hmm.
more thing, what we see in the business owners is like a lot of people try to do everything by themselves. Ads, follow up, closing,
Yeah.
KPI tracking, and everything. And and this is
Mm-hmm.
also a reason, because because marketing is an entirely different thing, because you have to uh,
Yeah.
carefully observe everything, how ad is performing, how the backend system is, if it's giving the results,
Mm-hmm.
how to save you from the losses and everything.
And
So
that's what I really like that you
yeah,
guys are on top of it. You're always checking in, you're always
yeah,
making sure that the ads are running smoothly. If an ad isn't hitting properly, you always make sure to get in contact with me to
yeah.
update it. And that's what I really like, that you're on top of
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah, because we
Mhm.
don't portray ourselves just as a ads team. We actually portray ourselves as a
Mhm.
credit repair marketing like growth specialist. So we are taking care of everything. Like we are trying to make sure that our clients should not have any kind of loss. Like so that is the
Mhm.
most important thing for us. So January and February was also good, right? Because that's where things started turning around, and you mentioned, right? You know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, in January is when it started. So I feel like that's when I was barely starting to like see what can actually happen. So as the months go, I feel like it's just getting better and better.
Yeah. So January, you remember like approximately how
Mhm.
much revenue you did, like just as an estimate? Yeah.
In the beginning, I would want to say like I would say I think it started at 10,000 a month, and then it's
Okay.
just been getting higher and higher from there
Yeah. So in January, do
since
you remember?
January. Yeah.
Yeah. So in January, you remember like how much was our ad spend? So
The
yeah.
ad spend, it was really low. I know, I believe it was probably like 4 to 500.
No. So in January, we spent like around 880. In
Okay,
Feb,
yeah, it was something like that.
yeah. So I
Yeah.
think 4 500 was before that, but
Yeah, I
yeah,
think that was
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Hmm.
So January we
Yeah, so it
spent,
wasn't a lot of ad spend then.
yeah,
We were barely starting to like get, the ads running at that time.
yeah,
But even now, I feel like for the amount of,
yeah,
leads that we're getting in, it's not a lot of
yeah.
ad spend.
Yeah, that is the most
Hmm.
important thing for us. Like, let's say if you're spending
Yeah.
$200 a day and you're doing a revenue of 20,000, that doesn't make sense, right? That's because that's a very, very,
Yeah,
very
because with
dangerous
the
point. Yeah,
old company,
yeah,
yeah, with the old company, I think I was about spending what we're spending right now, which is like 1,100, twelve
yeah,
hundred, and I was getting no results, no leads, nothing
yeah.
in.
Yeah, that is, yeah, of course, there are a lot of companies out there in the market who force the clients to pay more and more. But we feel that it's not required when you're not making the numbers, right? So it has to be very less,
Yeah.
because yeah, because by this time, let's say we have, for this month we are going to spend around 14 to 1500 in ad spend, and we are going to do revenue of
Mhm.
20,000. So we are hoping that by the time we go to 3,000 ad spend a month, we'll be doing a revenue of 40 to 50,000 dollar a month. So that's how we are growing, right? And
Uh-huh.
that's actually the most important thing. In February also we spent
Yes.
like around 1100 or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
correct.
In
Mhm.
March we were doing some experiments with trying to increase the ad budget, but that was still like 1200 or so. Every month is still not on a very moderate ad budget, right? And
Yes, it really
yeah.
is.
And last month, let's say we already did ROI of 13 times, right, on the ad spend. So that's
Mhm.
great. So if
Yeah.
you had to put a percentage on the ROI that we delivered, what you say, like compared to what you pay to us to the service fee plus the ad spend. So what is the ROI that we had delivered to you?
What is the what? I'm sorry?
like like let's the service fee that you paid to us plus the ad spend, in comparable to that, how
Mhm.
much ROI have you generated? Like let's say whatever you have generated, could I say that 90% is your profits and 10% just go to ads plus our service fee? But then, yeah.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I've definitely made, my money back from your service fee
Yeah.
and the ad spend. Yeah, so it's like for sure like a 90 and 10%.
Great. And you remember, like
Mhm.
before working with us, what was your average cost per lead, or and compared to now? Of course, you've already mentioned that you were not getting any kind of result, but you still remember what was the cost per lead at that time?
I believe that time I was doing about mm, like $30.
Okay,
I believe it was around $30 to $40.
$30 to $40 to get one lead, or $30 to $40 a day?
Oh, a day.
Oh, okay, so that was the daily budget. So no,
Yeah, it
cost
was,
per lead, yeah.
yeah.
So cost per lead is like maybe you're not that much familiar with that because we were every month we were like like sharing the entire ad budget. Cost per lead is the amount of dollar you spend to get one lead
Uh-huh.
who is talking to you. At that time, someone was running DM funnels for you, right? You were texting in DM and everything, right?
Yes, correct.
Okay. Okay.
I'm not really sure how that part
Okay.
worked.
You don't have to know that much. It's just totally fine. You can just
I'm
know,
like,
like,
I don't
yeah.
know.
Yeah, I mean, we are of course
I
every
just
month we
know
are
how much I was
yeah, yeah,
spending.
yeah. That daily report
Yeah.
we are of course we are like every month we are sharing with you. So that, okay, that's totally fine. You just have to know that. And
Yes.
okay, great. And it's and the next my next question is kind of like about mindset and why people fail. So why do you think like most people give up before seeing results in this industry?
Um, I feel mostly because of the money spent. When they, give up, it's because they're probably like, I'm wasting all this money and, I haven't received, the leads come in as they would want. But I feel like it is like a process. It doesn't happen right away. But then when it does happen, you're like, okay, this is so worth it.
Yeah,
So I feel like for the
of course.
most part, people in the industry give up because they don't want to spend the money, especially if they're not getting the leads in or seeing new leads.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. That totally makes sense. And do you see that other credit repair businesses
Mhm.
around you struggling? So what do you think they are missing in them? Like, of course, not everyone is doing 20K a month.
So I feel
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so wait. So I feel like, when it comes to other credit repair companies and stuff, a lot of them are missing, this part of it, which would
Yeah.
be the marketing. Having somebody run their ads for them the correct way. A lot of people want to throw ads on social media and Instagram and stuff, and they're not hitting the right people or getting real leads back. So, there's only so much you can go or how far you can get on your own social medias and, putting yourself out there to people that you follow. So a lot of times I feel like this is what they're missing. They need a marketing strategy and a marketing team to go ahead and take over on that end.
Yeah, that makes sense. And like, what would have happened to your business if you had quit after the first bad experience with the previous agency? I feel that you must have been thinking about that, right? But you decide to go forward.
Yes.
And so,
Yeah, so I mean, I feel like I wouldn't be anywhere where I'm at right now. Because, like I said, I've been doing this for so long, and I feel, again, off my social media and off the people that follow me, I've already gotten those clients. So there was, not much more that I can get just by posting on my personal
yeah.
social media. I needed to take it further. So, if I were to have, gave up and quit when I first started or with my bad experience, then, who knows what would happen
Yeah, that
with
that
the business.
yeah, that's where you took the risk, and you completely turned it around.
Hmm.
So, and how was your overall
Yeah.
experience like working with us in terms of like, did you felt that we were constantly like taking care of your business? It's like, like you should not have a loss in any way, or like what do you feel about that part?
Hmm.
Like, of course there is a business side of it, but there is
Yeah.
also a side where we are. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like more secure now, especially with you guys like on my team. You guys are making sure that, those leads are coming in. Those ads are being ran the right way. The minute something is goes down a little bit, you guys are on top of it. So I feel like I'm not scared of,
Yeah.
losing or, oh my God, I'm not getting the clientele
Yeah.
that I want. No, I feel like you guys always have my back when it comes to
Yeah.
it. So I'm not really, I'm not fearful of anything when it comes to my business now.
Well, thank you so much for that trust. That's what we usually want from our clients. And
Yes.
and what was the
Yes.
moment, like your trust shifted and you felt that this genuinely different from the previous experience, like, while you were working with us? What was that moment? Can you define?
Yeah, I feel like it was the first month when, everything started, running. Like you explained to me perfect as well, how, it takes a while, a little bit of time for these ads to hit where they need to hit and get to a certain point where it just, settles. So I feel like once I started getting those leads in, I started seeing my clients, create those appointments and I was actually locking in deals.
Yeah.
That's when I was like, okay, this is something serious. Like it's not like the old company I was working with, like it actually is gonna work.
Yeah.
So, I
uh
mean, I feel like right away within the first month, yeah.
yeah. Yeah, because initially
Hmm.
what happened that because we had to get the ad account things, and we had to resolve all of those things. So because of that, the first month got quite slow. It doesn't happen with everyone. In your case, it got a little slow, but the way it picked it up after second month, that was really good, right? But because
Yeah.
you mentioned that you were really happy with
Yes.
that results. And
Yeah, and it's never slowed down since. So like that's why I'm saying like every
yeah.
month it's just getting better and better. So like I'm excited for the future.
Yeah. Yeah, so your current situation is like every month is profitable by huge margin. Like, we are consistently hitting 14 to 15x
Yes.
return on ad spend. The real question now, it's
Hmm.
not whether it's working, it's like how high we can take it. And honestly, like
Hmm.
with 50K a month with ad spend, with staying under 8 to 10% of revenue, it's not very far from where you are right now. So that's what
Yes.
I genuinely believe. So
Hmm.
yeah, that's great. And so one more thing I want to know, like, how has this revenue growth changed your personal life, not just business wise? Like when you start
Hmm.
hitting the good numbers in your business. So how does that change everything around you?
I
Like,
feel like it's changed it like not drastically, but I feel like one, I'm not having, to worry about like, okay, what's next? What do I need to post next? Or, who
yeah,
do I need to get in contact with to get more leads? I feel like it's just made my life a lot smoother. When it comes to, the amount of money that I'm making now, I feel like it's a lot of stress off my shoulders, especially because at the time when you and I started, there was a lot of things going on within my
yeah,
family that, I was worried about at the time when it comes to my husband not working at the time. And so now that since I've started with you, there's just so much revenue that's been, coming in that there's a lot of weight lifted off my shoulders. I'm not having to worry about like, okay, how are we gonna do it?
mhm.
So I feel like it's really changed my life and like when it comes to worrying and like, taking care of my family.
Great. Yeah, that's
Mhm.
yeah, that I remember you just talked about something about that at that time. So
Mhm.
has this thing, like, the way we are going, has this thing given you more confidence to keep more scaling even further and feel that 50K or even 100K a month
Yes.
is not very far from where we are right now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, for sure. I'm like so confident. I'm so like ready to see what the future holds
Yeah.
and how far we can take it. And
Yeah.
I'm just ready for it.
Yeah. Yeah, but a lot of clients who come to us, they initially they say their goal is to just have 10K a month and not spend more than $1,000. But when they see this, they are doing number 20, 25K, even 10% of ad spend, they started getting that confidence. So
Yeah, and I feel
yeah,
like I kind of was the same. Like I kind of put it in my head, like as long as, I'm bringing in a
yeah.
certain amount. And now I'm like, okay, well, it was that easy to get there. Like, why not go for more?
Yeah, that's true.
Mhm.
And one more important thing is the challenges that you will get at 10K, 20K, 30K, 40K, 50K. They are different. They are slightly different. And our role is just not to run ads, it's also tracking the
Mhm.
KPIs, giving strategic advice, protecting you from losses, making sure every decisions like that, should make you move forward. And knowing that as we scale to
Mhm.
40K and 50K and eventually 100K a month, that strategy will evolve
Mhm.
at every stage, and while we keeping the ad spend as minimal as possible, it's possible. So because let's
Yeah.
say when we go to 30K, 40K, we have to bring in a sales rep as well, because at that point it will become slightly harder for you to take calls. If you can take as much as possible, it's good, because right now you're just taking calls by yourself, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, it's always
Yeah.
good to, like, if a founder can take their call, because you know your business better than anyone. And
Yeah, and
yeah,
those are the next steps that I'm like trying to take
yeah,
next with when it comes to these appointment
yeah,
calls and taking these calls.
yeah.
I'm needing help.
Yeah, yeah, that's very important. Of course, like there is no one in the world who know better than your business than you, but you have to go
Yeah.
into that mindset. No, I have to start delegating things, because if you don't delegate
Yes.
things, you're gonna get burnout, and then you will not be, then you start declining down. We have seen this in our, previous clients as well.
Mhm.
Like they are not, willing to hire that much, because they are so in love with their business, which is a good thing. You
Yeah.
have to be in love, but you have to remember that when we scale, it's very important to start, delegating a little by little stuff, so that you can start focusing on other
Yes.
things as
It's
well.
Yeah, it's more like, having to teach someone, the credit business and what exactly to say to clients to close the deal. That's what worries me because I feel like clients want to, talk to who's in charge.
Yeah. So where do you see your
Mhm.
business in 6 to 12 months from now?
So for sure, hitting higher numbers,
Yeah.
expanding the business, which I am trying to, get all that in process already. Yeah, just pretty much expanding the business, taking it as far as we can take it, and hitting, way higher numbers than where we are right now. I feel like this is only the beginning. Like I said, it's what
Yeah.
going on 7 months, 6, 7 months, and where we're at already, I'm so
Yeah.
happy with it. But within, a year from now, it's gonna
Yeah.
be crazy.
Yeah, in fact, yeah, in fact, within 6 months, we can actually achieve 50K. Within, it's not very far. Just
Hmm.
have to keep doing things the way we are doing, and we
The
have to
correct
start
way.
delegating the stuff, getting a sales rep, train them, because after 40, 50, because if you get a sales rep now, if you start finding a good sales rep, you need to train them as well. So that's the most important
Yeah.
thing, because in credit repair industry, it's also not like there is a very harsh reality about, like, a lot of people, prospects who are in the market, they are being scammed, right?
Yeah.
So they don't owe you anything, like, to any credit repair businesses. So as a credit repair businesses, your job is also to teach them, right? Like, this is how
Hmm.
it works, and that's how you
Yeah.
book them, right? So that is the most, because the business owner who can figure out that thing,
Hmm.
rather just saying that, oh, you want to work with me or not, just go like that thing, you don't have to do that thing. The one who can just understand this thing, how to make them believe that your past experience is not going to be same now, that is
Yeah.
the business owner who is going to get hit up like a big numbers, because people are lazy,
Yeah.
lazy. They don't want to
Yeah.
do things by themselves, and that's a good thing
Mm.
for a business owner, right? Like, if the people are lazy, they are giving you their credit
Yeah.
report, so they can just wait patiently,
Mhm.
they can trust you. And that's how things work. And when you get a sales rep later on, you can train them, they will start hitting more numbers, right? They will start
Mm-hmm.
training, and you already have the call recordings of all the clients that you've been talking to, inside of a CRM. All the recordings have been there. You can collect all
Yeah.
those recordings as a database to teach your sales rep as well.
Uh-huh.
They will
Oh
understand.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
so it will help them, to
Yeah.
understand what is your mindset, how your company runs, what exactly you do. And then
What
yeah,
exactly there is to
yeah,
say and stuff. Mm-hmm.
yeah. And then
For sure.
and only the most important calls you can take. If the clients are
Mm-hmm.
genuinely saying that they want to talk to Monica, they can actually switch back to you. And while
Yeah.
we keep generating the leads, we, of course, later on, we also have a different strategy. We will go to the DM funnels as well. Of course,
Mm-hmm.
but that strategy we will do after 40K, because that time we need
Okay.
one more VA you can handle that. It won't charge you that much. Who will be talking to all these people in the messenger, because we are not that big fan of AI bots that much,
Uh-huh.
because the thing is, Meta is also getting very strict with the bots now. So what future
Mm-hmm.
holds, it's we cannot predict, okay, because of
Yeah.
the Meta restrictions and all that. Of course, we are working
Mm-hmm.
on that as well, but we will let you know at that time what is the situation. But what our team
Yeah.
understands, the future is about Meta is, it's kind of, we don't know. They are putting so much work into the AI things, and whether they're gonna allow the third party apps into the DMs or not. It's a point of a debate. But yeah, that we will let you know after,
Yeah.
after some time. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And also, about the competition, like a lot of business owners say that they did 10K 20K a month in revenue in the market, but nobody asks like how much they spend on the ads to get there. Spending 100
Mm-hmm.
day on
Yeah.
ads to make 10K is very different from what we achieved keeping it on a very low budget, right?
Keeping
30 to
it,
40.
yeah, a very low budget. And I feel like that's another thing. Like when I first started, I was thinking, that amount, a hundred dollars a day on ads. I was thinking like, okay, this is gonna be cost money. So the fact that, we're spending so low and the numbers are very high is, that's just a win.
Yeah, it's also saving you a lot of time. You have all the data inside the CRM. You don't have to
Mm-hmm.
just go around and talk to people all day and all that kind of a stuff. So that's very good,
Yeah,
right?
everything is
Yeah,
already set. Mm-hmm.
yeah, and yeah. And what would you say to someone who is comparing different agencies and trying to decide like who to work with?
Um, I would tell them to, really look into who they're trying to work with. Especially because of, what's happened with me in my past, with other companies. And I would for sure recommend your company to any credit repair businesses. And which I do when it comes to, my credit repair classes that I teach, I always, tell my students and recommend you all to them because of, like I said, the amount of money that we're making and, just how organized your business is and how, like I said, you're on top of everything. You're always, keeping up with everything when it comes to, the like the app and everything like that. So what I always recommend you guys to
Yeah.
everyone. Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you so much for that. And
Yeah.
yeah, and yeah. Also, I want to mention that you also have a credit repair masterclass you run like every month, right?
Mhm.
And how long have you been
Yes.
doing that?
I've been doing my credit repair master classes since last year. So it's about a year and a half already that I've been
Year and a
doing
half.
that. Yeah. So I teach these classes, at least once a month.
Yeah,
Hmm.
like once a month, and you do that online or you do that like face to face? How's it like?
Yeah, so I do both. Those who I was doing, in-person classes only. Now I've gotten to do, virtual classes as well. So it's pretty much if a client wants, a one-on-one in person, then we'll do that. So I teach both. I teach online and in person for those who want to do in person.
Great.
Mhm.
And what would you like say to someone who is sitting on the fence right now? Maybe, they have been burned before. Maybe they are in a dilemma,
Mhm.
like what they should do. uh, what is your message to them?
I would say to take the risk. Just because you fall one time doesn't mean that the next time it's going to be the same way. If you're doubting it, if you feel like your money's just going to go to loss, um, it's not. So just take the risk because it's definitely worth it.
Yeah. In fact,
Mhm.
we also say the same thing to any business owner. Like if they do what we say to them, they're gonna hit the
Mhm.
numbers 50K, 100K, but they have to do whatever we say, and they don't have to do a lot of things. They
Yeah.
only have to focus on closing things,
Yeah.
right? And
Mhm.
they have to trust on the process what we are doing. And we are
Yeah.
actually we are thinking about your business as our business to make sure that
Uh-huh.
our clients should not have a loss. Of course, they should be
Yeah.
keep growing and hitting the big numbers. Yeah.
And what's crazy is when I found out about your business, like for some reason, I just didn't even hesitate to reach out to you all to, be partner up. I was mentioned to you all by a friend of mine, and but the very next day, I just went ahead and canceled with the other
Yeah.
company that I was with and jumped right in with you all. And I didn't even think twice about it. Like I just felt like, okay, I feel like this can go good. Like let's just like
Yeah.
take the chance.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
very interesting. Like you got to know with someone, we were not working with them,
Hmm.
and you just found
Yeah.
out about that. You go ahead and you're hitting these big numbers, and like we are still not like I don't know like with whom they are working with, but you are here, you are
Uh-huh.
doing big numbers, and that's, I mean, of course we are
Yeah.
very happy with all of our clients who are working with us, and
Hmm.
yeah, we also have a very good track record with whoever we are working with. But yeah, for the future as well, we just say the same thing, just focus on closing. On the each step we will tell you what strategies we are going to change and what you should be doing, okay, and
Uh-huh.
to hit the big numbers.
Yes.
Yeah, that is the only thing, like, from our side,
Hmm.
what we tell. And yeah, of
Yeah.
course, like if you go after you pass 100K a month or like that, you need more team members, so your entire day going to
Yes, for
spend to
sure.
just manage them in a correct
Hmm.
way, right? And
Hmm.
yeah, uh, just train them, hiring good closers, good sales rep who can even close the people, like who are even just 5% interested in your services. Like they can even just explain. It's not about manipulating, it's about explaining your services, because when you explain your services, they get interested, right? They get the
Yeah.
trust. And yeah,
Yeah.
and you also have to look into your clients
To
you
put
have.
yourself in their shoes. Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, that's the most important thing. Yeah. So if you had to
Hmm.
summarize your entire journey in one to or two, of course, we are, of course, moving. We are in the we are already in the phase two. We are already one. Like May we started our phase two. Already May is about to get over. We are working ahead,
Hmm.
and in the phase two, we are going to hit big numbers. But if you want to summarize your entire journey in one or two sentences in the past 6 months, what would you say?
I would say in the past 6 months, my experience with your company has been amazing. I never thought that I would become this far, and I just feel like I'm only going further and further. Um, it's a super, super good experience. I am so happy with the work and, the help from your whole company, and I'm just excited for the future.
Great. Thank you so much for taking the time and sharing your journey so openly. So this is going to help actually a lot of people who are in the same position you are, who
Yeah.
are thinking what they should be doing, how much and do you think that the service fee that we charge, is it a lot comparing to the revenue that you are making? And
No, I feel like
yeah,
it's very affordable and
yeah,
you're very flexible with it as well.
yeah,
So I don't think it's a lot at all. I feel like it makes up for what you're doing,
yeah,
for all
yeah.
the work that you're, helping with my company.
Yeah, even when you're scaling, our prices are not changing like that, because our
Hmm.
entire focus is to just get our clients as best results as possible.
And that's what
So
I like too. Yeah. You're not like changing prices here and there. Like it's just,
yeah,
where the prices are at, they stay. Hmm.
yeah, that's amazing. Well, thank you so much for taking your time, and looking forward to continue to work together and keeping the business scaling to new heights. So thank you
Yeah.
so much, and we're gonna have another interview when you will hit like 50K a month for sure. just
Yes, of
what things
course.
going on, how things have been changed and all of that. So that will also be very valuable for whoever watching this interview.
Okay.
Great.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much. Okay.